I prefer kind of creating my own grooves because it's more fun for me. Preset quantizations are basically the same as quantize. You just quantize everything to something, and then again you get everything quantized to a certain type of groove, which perfectly works. It's nothing wrong with it, but I prefer, like, even if I use a quantized template, I will change it a little bit, so I will get something unique out of it, and maybe I will combine different templates. So I will quantize drums with one template, and I will quantize synths with another template, so I will get some sort of interesting interaction between different templates.
So it's the same with MIDI notes?
Yeah, the same thing.
I work on machine and I work on MIDI notes, and so if you move every MIDI note for a little...
Exactly. It's like moving samples. As I said, the system, if you are working with samples or if you are working with MIDI notes, is exactly the same. The only difference is that I kind of got used to working with audio because I can process it with outboard, I can add effects, I can... it's faster in a way to work for me with that than with... If you're using battery, you have to use multi-outputs and you have to assign the samples to separate outputs, etc, etc. You get used to that. I just got used to that system. So on machine you also have grooves. You have swings which are really similar to
sound and groups.
You can swing whatever. I mean, even on machine you can delay every single event. You can do that on MPC too with the latest software. But this is not important. The important thing is that groove is really important element of the sound or of the actual production. And if you get the beat right, everything will work afterwards. You all know that when you hear a new record, and it usually club stuff starts with empty beat, usually. So immediately when you put after 2 bars, you know, okay, this is good. Why it is good? Because it grooves. So you immediately know there is no bass line in there is no synths, nothing. You just know that the basic loop is functioning. And this is the goal. If your basic drum loop is functioning, it will be much easier to do everything afterwards. But if you skip that step and you just program something and then start building a song around it, then it will happen that you will have to change the kick afterwards, change the snare afterwards, etc, etc. And as soon as you will start changing samples, everything else will collapse. So you will, in a way, have more work than you would have if you would start with good beat, good samples, good groove from the beginning. So I usually work in a way, when I start producing whatever I start producing, I try to make the beat to sound as interesting as possible without anything. So I don't have a bass line, I don't have a lead melody. It's boring in a way, but it's fun also. So I will create a beat which is sounding great on its own, with all the sounds, with all the grooves. I will add all sorts of effects, everything, so the beat will have good sound and it will be interesting to listen to at least 1 minute. Meaning that I will do all the transition, everything. And when I have that, then I will start programming, let's say, melodies and themes and stuff like that. Because if the groove functions, everything else will be much better afterwards. And the more you practice, the faster you will achieve the result. The more you filter the sounds that you use, the better your sound banks will be. And usually unexperienced producers, they blame, I don't have the right sounds. If I would have sounds from David Guetta, then I will do the same thing as he will do it. No, you won't. I can give you sounds from all sorts of famous producers, from all sorts famous songs, and you won't be able to recreate the groove. You will be able to have the same sounds, but you won't be able to create the same groove. And the groove is actually something that it makes producers different from other producers and successful songs from unsuccessful songs, because people don't react on the floor to the music that don't have the groove. And groove is not only the beat, groove is everything, meaning that the bass has to be also in the groove, the melodies have to be in the groove, etc, etc. But you start with the beat, and if you set the beat right and you move the notes along, the same story goes to bass line. I mean, the same technique applies to the bass line, same technique applies to the lead sounds. Everything should be, let's say, quantized to the same groove. You can use templates, you can do it manually, whatever you prefer. But at the end, you have to have something that grooves.